Hey guys, my name is Mackenzie Palladino and I am the independent metalsmith behind Semplice Designs, LLC. So this is my first YouTube video introducing myself, so I'm excited to start this channel and see where it goes. So I just kind of wanted to give you a background of like what I do for work and how I got started. So I've been an artist my entire life. Like I can remember when I was super young, I would love drawing and painting and all the things. And I would beg my mom to sign me up for art classes. My parents were really into sports, so they tried to get me into soccer and I just wasn't interested. I was much more interested in art and creating and all the fun things that come along with that. So yeah, I, from a very young age, knew I wanted to be an artist. That was the main thing in my life that I truly found happiness doing, creating was everything for me, and it still is. Because I'm an artist full-time now, living the dream. I'm very lucky. So I began metalsmithing when I was at East Carolina University. I was there for art school and I didn't know what metalsmithing was at the time, but I had a teacher recommend taking a metalsmithing class. So I was in Design 1 and I remember I was creating the ceramics project, which I've been, I've practiced ceramics in the past and I was really talented at that as well. So my teacher saw my craft and he was like, you really should look into metalsmithing. And I was just like, I'm not sure what that is. What is that? So he kind of told me a little bit about it. And so I applied and got in and started the process of learning how to use a saw and all the tools that come along with that. So I was really frustrated at first because it takes a lot of patience, and breaking saw blades is just a regular thing that happens pretty much every second when you're first beginning. And I just remember thinking I hate this, but I love it. And I don't know why I love it, but I think it was because it was such a challenge for me to learn how to do it. So I just found myself all of my friends would be out partying and I would find myself in the metalsmithing studio working. And it wouldn't even be for class stuff. It would just be stuff that I wanted to do personally. And I would make pieces for friends and things like that. So eventually my friends started asking me for customs. So I would create these customs for them and just not charge them anything because I just loved the craft so much. And I had a bunch of my friends say, you should really do this for a business or sell your work. And I was just kind of no, definitely not. I just do this for fun. I never really thought of it as something that I would do for money. So I transferred to Appalachian State in 2013 and loved it immediately. I'd always wanted to live in the mountains. So I made friends very quickly. I love hiking and all that stuff, and nature has always meant so much to me. And so through attending App and getting to know the community and the handmade community, it really encouraged me to get back into metalsmithing. So, because I had taken a year off when I first transferred, and then the second year I was there, I got back into it. So my graduating year. So I loved it. I found so much inspiration through nature there, through the community, how passionate Boone is about handmade markets and just promoting handmade businesses. I really just thrived as a business there. So I decided, I'm trying to think, 2018 was when I first decided I'm going to start my metalsmithing business. This is what I'm gonna do. Because up until that point, I was I'm still making stuff for fun. I went to school for it. This is just something I do in my free time that I really love and I'm passionate about. And so it took me a very long time to get to the point of, okay, I want to start a business. So 2018, New Year's Eve, I remember setting the intention of, I'm going to work hard to establish myself as a business. So I remember I just started my business off and I had no clue what I was doing. I'd never taken a business class. So with that being said, it has been a journey trying to figure out how to do all of this and make it work. But I've somehow kind of figured it out, kind of. I still have a lot to work on, but it's been so fun. And I eventually would like to take a business class to learn more. But for now, I think I'm doing okay, considering I'm independent and don't have any help with any aspect of my business for the most part, besides photography and videography helpers, love that. But yeah, so through living in Boone, it really encouraged me to break out of my shell and just become what I wanted to be. And I went to school for art therapy. So I was planning on going to grad school, but this was pre-pandemic. So I'd taken a few years off after graduating. I was still metalsmithing, and I had found Mark Reed, who is a metalsmith in Valley Crucis, who is such an amazing human. He was my mentor when I lived in Boone for the time that I worked for him. That was a pivotal moment for my business, working with him and Caitlin Bird, because it made me realize my potential for like the work that I can produce and the quality of work I can produce. So I rented a space from him. He's been a metalsmith pretty much his entire life and super professional, is kind of a jack of all trades. Like he does a lot of things, but his main thing is refurbishing church relics. So, which is like a really rare thing. So I got lucky and was able to work next to him, borrow his tools, rent a space, and my business just took off completely. So this was like 2018, 2019, towards the end of 2018. So I'm super thankful for that. I don't know where I would be right now if I didn't have that opportunity to work with Mark Reed. I love him so much. I'm like getting emotional. But anyway, so that was super inspirational, being able to like live in Boone and do all of that and like love Boone and just thrive as a maker. So, and is like, you know, an outdoorsy person. I loved it. But anyways, so love App State. Love that I was able to take that big leap and transfer, not knowing anyone really. So I'm lucky to have met a bunch of my college friends and still keep in touch with them. You know, after a few years of living in Boone, 2018 to 2021, I lived there and was running my business. And so in 2021, I applied to Floyd Fest, which is a very big music festival in Virginia. And I had vended at Merle Fest, I had vended at other very large music festivals, but nothing was quite like this. This was gonna be a huge deal, like far bigger than anything I had done before. So I knew that going into it, and I was like, you know, if I can do this, I can do this, you know, like this is it, you know? And even though I was already doing everything that I did, that I had set my mind to, you know, I don't know, sometimes you just have to give yourself a different outlook on your goals. But so I was basically like, if I can make this happen, like I can do anything. So I made it happen, and it was flawless, seamless. And I was honestly shocked, and I really showed up for myself in a way that I like never realized that I could do, you know? So I was like, wow, Floyd Fest was 1,000% successful. I applied again last year, did super well last year. So thankful for Floyd, Virginia, and the family of Floyd Fest. It's just the best festival in my opinion. Granted, I haven't been to every single festival, but I will go to Floyd Fest every year that I can make it to vend, probably for the rest of my life, to be completely honest, or as long as they'll have me. So after I vended at Floyd Fest, I realized, you know, this is my potential. I need to get out of Boone, which was really tough for me to do, but it was also very easy at the same time, because I knew that I was capable of so much more than like living in a 5-mile town where I lived for 8 years, come to know every single person pretty much in the town, was super comfortable. I was like, I need to take the leap, and it's going to be really hard because I don't know anyone in Nashville. You know, I hadn't known a single soul other than like maybe 1 or 2 people that I had been referred to meet once I moved here. So after Floyd Fest, I saw my numbers and I said, okay, I'm doing it. I'm seeing how many artists are buying my work. I'm seeing how serious this is becoming. People love my bolo ties. Artists in particular really love my work, like musicians and bluegrass artists in particular. So I was like, you know, Nashville it is. That's how I decided on Nashville. So once I got back to Boone, I literally hit the ground running, and I started planning a visit. And once I visited, everything fell into place. My awesome roommate fell into place. My house fell into place. I'm so lucky to have a beautiful home here to live in. My business space, I'm lucky to have the studio. It took me a while to get to this point of finding a place to rent, but I'm so lucky to have this opportunity here working with my friend Jacqueline, who owns a boutique in East Nashville, a gym store. It's called Sapphire and Sage. Follow them on Instagram, they're great. So yeah, it took me a while to get to this point of like getting my business off the ground here, like figuring out what I need to do to thrive in a place where I knew nobody, where the handmade market here is nowhere near as intense as it is in Boone. Like Boone, they would have, you know, markets all the time for handmade vendors. Here it's a bit different. It's more so vintage resale, which is great in itself, but it's just a different ball game. So it's been very tough for me to figure out how to go about reaching the clientele that I need. So my online sales have been super amazing, and I'm very thankful for that. And it's helped me really keep the ball rolling with my creativity as I continue to apply to music festivals like Stagecoach, which we'll see about that. That might be biting off way more than I can chew, but honestly, I'm ready for the challenge. And if I get accepted, I'm definitely gonna do it, like 1,000%. So anyways, but yeah, so goals for me after reaching the 1 year mark here. I plan to continue to build out my studio space, and I just moved in about a month and a half ago. So I'm really excited to be here, but I'm gonna need a lot more things. Like I need a lot more tools and stuff like that. So I'm in the process of, you know, continuing to create and doing this full time. Like this is my only job, and it has been my only job since 2019, I believe. So that's been amazing. And yeah, just continue to apply to different events and reach more people and just have people see my work. And I've really done a good job of this by marketing my pieces for bluegrass artists because they really do love wearing my work. And I'm super thankful that I've been able to get promotion through people supporting me in the music industry. So I'm hoping to eventually have a storefront. I'm not sure where that will be. I don't know, you know, what my 5-year plan looks like, to be completely honest. I feel like with a lot of people that run a business, they're like, oh, my 5-year plan, like this is it. I don't really have a 5-year plan because to be completely honest, if you asked me that a year ago, I would have never said, oh, in this 5-year plan, I'm gonna be moving to Nashville and start and, you know, do what I'm doing now. Like that would have never been in the cards. It wasn't like a plan to move here. It was just a thought, but it was never I'm gonna make this happen until Floyd Fest came along and made it a reality for me. So yeah, I mean, to be honest, like I do have goals. In 5 years, I would like to have a storefront. I would like to have my studio space in my storefront so that way people can come in, view my work, see me creating, meet me, talk to me, see my aesthetic, you know, all that good stuff. So yeah, that's the like eventual goal. Yeah, so I'm excited for wherever I do end up that will allow me to have that sort of space. And I'm excited for right now, I'm excited for the people I'm gonna meet in Nashville and growing my business here and networking and enjoying all the live music. It has been such a dream living here, and I couldn't see myself anywhere else right now at this point in time. Like I'm just very thankful to have the opportunity to live here and thrive here. And although it's been a definite challenge for my business, like vending here and figuring out what markets to vend at and things like that, like I love it. And I'm always up for the challenge. And that's why I had to leave Boone, was because it became too comfortable for me. And I knew that my potential was so great and I needed to challenge myself daily. And I felt like don't get me wrong, was making great money living in Boone. Like my clientele in Boone was massive, and my clientele in Nashville is nowhere near what it was in Boone. But with that being said, it's challenged me to work harder and meet my goals and look at things outside of the box and try and transfer my aesthetic that I had for 8 years in Boone to a new environment of like city life, like, you know, East Nashville, the lifestyle that people live in East Nashville and how different it is, try and take my aesthetic and also apply it to where I'm living now, which has been an awesome challenge. And I still, even though my style has changed a lot moving here, and I fully recognize that, and I honestly love that about myself. I love that I've been pretty adaptable in almost every situation in my life. You know, I just always make the best of whatever I'm given and whatever cards I'm dealt. I've done a lot to, you know, continue to follow the aesthetic that my jewelry has. And even though my personal style has changed a bit, I mean, it really hasn't overall. I'm just a little more sleek with the way I dress sometimes. More of like a city girl, which is fine. That's not a big deal. But yeah, I try and keep my aesthetic with my jewelry. I don't try, I do. Like it's always just kind of similar. You can tell a piece is mine when you see it, you know, and I really pride myself on that because I really try to keep a very specific aesthetic behind the creative process. So with this YouTube video, or YouTube channel, I really look forward to bringing y'all more content about how I create my pieces, more information about my collections, and like kind of deep dive into like what each of my collections mean and what it means to create them and how it is affecting my life at the current time and things like that. So, and when I say how it's affecting my life, I mean how it is inspiring me based on things that are affecting my life. Because we, as an artist, all artists go through phases where they're feeling something emotionally and they decide to either write about it, draw it out, paint it. For me, it's create with metal. It's different for everybody, but it's all about self-expression. Like that's all art is. And so even if you're not an artist, you're still an artist because everyone expresses themselves however they want, you know, whether that's with style, with decorating, interior design. I love interior design, cooking, literally whatever. Like everyone's an artist. So I look forward to talking more about my art, and because I feel like on Instagram it's just so, here's a picture, assume what this means, you know, like I can write a caption, but that's not even going to transfer, you know. So YouTube is going to be really great for me kind of leading you and guiding you to see more that my pieces have to offer than what meets the eye. So I look forward to it, and I hope that y'all do too, and I appreciate y'all tuning in. Have a good one.